Hello and welcome to the KinderJoy TV Podcast, your go-to space for real talk about parenting, childhood development, and raising kind, confident kids. I'm your host, Adam, and today's episode is one that hits home for just about every parent I know. Why doesn't my child listen to me? If you've ever found yourself repeating the same instruction 15 times, raising your voice more than you'd like, or just wondering if your child selectively hears you, you are definitely not alone. To help us unpack what's really happening and what we can do about it, I'm joined today by someone truly inspiring. Mrs. Smith, a licensed child psychologist, educator, and mom of 3 herself. Welcome to the podcast, Mrs. Smith.
Hi, Adam. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. This topic is so close to my heart because as professionals, we know the theory, but as parents, we live the chaos too.
Right? It's always comforting to know that even the experts get ignored by their toddlers sometimes.
All the time. But the good news is there's always a reason behind the behavior and tools we can use to build better communication.
So let's jump in. When parents say, my child doesn't listen, what's really going on?
Great place to start. First, we need to shift our mindset. Listening is a skill, and for kids, it's a developmental one. When a child is not listening, it's usually one of 3 things. They're deeply focused on something else, they don't understand what we're asking, or they've become desensitized to how we give instructions. It's not about being stubborn or rude, it's that their brains are still learning how to prioritize information, filter distractions, and shift attention.
That's huge. So when I call my son 3 times and he's still playing with blocks, he's not being disrespectful, his brain is just in Lego mode.
Exactly. Imagine being in a deep creative flow and someone suddenly tells you to do a task. Kids don't have the same switching power adults do. So instead of assuming defiance, think development.
That already feels less personal. So instead of feeling ignored, I can try to engage differently. What would be the first step?
Part 2. Connection before direction.
Yes. The first golden rule I teach parents is connection before direction. Before giving instructions, first connect with your child, physically and emotionally. Get down to their eye level, use their name, maybe gently touch their shoulder. This grounds them in the moment. For example, instead of calling out, "Clean your room," try, "Hey Ava, I see you're busy drawing. I love your picture. In 5 minutes, we're going to start tidying up together, okay?"
Wow, that sounds so much more respectful, and it invites cooperation instead of resistance.
Yes, kids crave respect and predictability just like adults. When we shout from another room or use commands, they often feel startled or bossed around, and that leads to power struggles.
So, what are some of the common mistakes parents make, even with good intentions, that actually make it harder for kids to listen?
So many, but here are the top ones I see in coaching sessions. Too many instructions at once. Kids process best in steps. Put on your shoes is better than get ready, grab your bag, and meet me at the door. Inconsistent follow-through. If we don't mean what we say, kids learn that they don't have to listen. Raising our voices immediately. Yelling may get fast results, but it builds fear, not respect. Repeating without action. Saying something 5 times with no follow-up teaches children to wait until we're angry.
That last one hit me. I definitely repeat myself until I'm frustrated, and then suddenly it gets done.
Exactly. That teaches them that you don't mean it until your tone changes. Instead, give the instruction once, and if they don't respond, move closer and guide them with calm firmness.
Can you give us an example of how that might sound?
Sure. Instead of yelling from the kitchen, "Brush your teeth, I told you 3 times," try, "Walk over calmly, kneel beside them and say, 'It's time to brush your teeth now. I'll walk with you to the bathroom.'" This models patience and follow-through.
Part 4, the listening environment. Let's talk about the home environment. Are there ways we can set things up so that listening becomes easier for kids?
Great point. Yes, environment matters. Reduce background noise. Turn off the TV when giving important instructions. Use visual aids. Young children respond well to picture charts, morning routine, bedtime steps, etc. Build routines. The more predictable the day, the less kids rely on being told what to do every time. Also, use positive reinforcement. Catch them listening and say, "Thanks for coming when I called. That was super helpful." This builds intrinsic motivation.
That's brilliant. So instead of just pointing out when they don't listen, we highlight when they do.
Exactly. What you focus on grows.
Brain Pop, Part 5, The Psychology of Listening. From a psychological standpoint, what's happening inside a child when they're being given instructions?
Great question. Listening involves auditory processing, actually hearing and recognizing the words, emotional regulation, managing how they feel about the request, and executive function, planning and acting on the instruction. If a child is tired, overstimulated, or emotionally off, those systems don't work smoothly. That's why timing and tone matter.
So sometimes not listening is about how we ask and when we ask, not just what we ask.
Exactly. A calm child is a listening child.
Quick tip of the week. All right, time for our quick tip of the week. Mrs. Smith, if you had to give one doable, practical tip that parents can try today, what would it be?
Use the when, then approach. Instead of saying, "Put your shoes on now or we're not going," say, "When you put your shoes on, then we can go to the park." It's respectful, clear, and gives your child a sense of control without a power struggle.
I love that. Simple language shifts can make a big difference. Closing and final message. Mrs. Smith, this has been incredibly helpful. I feel like I understand not just what to do differently, but why it matters. Any final message for our listeners?
Absolutely. Just remember, children aren't ignoring you. They're still learning how to manage their world. Be patient, be kind, and don't be afraid to model the behavior you want to see. Listening starts with feeling seen and safe.
Beautifully said. Thank you again, Mr. Smith. We hope to have you back on the podcast very soon. And to our amazing listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a parent friend, leave us a review, and follow KinderJoy TV wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, every moment of connection counts. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep growing with your kids.